Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Mel Raposo, County Council Chair here in Kauai, and I'm with Council Member Bill DeCosta. Bro, good to see you.
First video.
We'll just shoot the bull, man. We'll just shoot the bull a little bit and talk story. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy belated holiday. This is a great holiday.
Good season, good season.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to talk story and wish all of you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Turkey, ham, chicken, duck,
Mashed
rabbit.
potatoes, yams, you name it.
I'm a ham guy. You a turkey guy? I'm not a fan of turkey, man.
I'm a pumpkin punch guy.
Well, yeah, dessert.
Pumpkin dessert. I can bypass all the turkey and ham and get to the dessert. I'm a dessert guy. I like my asparagus with butter too. I love asparagus.
I found out asparagus is my trigger for gout.
Nice.
Not good.
My
'Cause I love
asparagus,
asparagus.
my shishi smell.
Yeah, well, I think that everybody. I don't think that's just us.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey, congratulations on the grandson.
thank you, man. Jahari.
No, big time.
Yeah,
I can 20 years now, soon in the NFL.
yeah, I hope so. He's big. He's getting bigger every day, and what a beautiful kid, man. Just change your perspective on life once you get a grandkid. Everyone said that, you know, and I get my two kids. I love them to death, but the grandchild a little different.
They think grandparents is the best way to parent because you can give them back, you can spoil them. You went through the mistakes and the groundwork with your own kids. Now you can perfect the next. You know, so I'm actually not there yet. I hope my three boys don't have any kids yet because they got a hard time taking themselves. But when they're ready, I will really pony.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, and that's a great segue to our discussion. Unfortunately, as you know, and many people know, my kids live in Oregon. My grandson was born in Oregon. Sixth generation here on Kauai, me. There is no seventh generation because they are now Oregonians. And it's a tough pill to swallow, bro. And, you know, we have these discussions almost every day, Billy, you and I. And, you know, we chat about it, we read about it, we hear about it. We hear the sad stories. We talk about people leaving this wonderful place. And it's not because I think they woke up one day and said, "Oh, I like live in Oregon." I think they woke up one day and said, "You know, I want a quality of life where I can enjoy life and not work myself to death." So that's one of the things we see more and more. Our local young families moving out.
Family thing, paycheck to paycheck, barely. You know, we talk about homeless, you and I, right? And you're a big advocate for the homeless community, and so am I. But how about the paycheck community that this husband and wife is barely getting by? And I told you I saw some rents, and I can say it was my rental income. My rental are for $1,600. The county does a low income affordable program for tax break at $2,200 utilities. But these guys are renting homes for $3,500, $4,000,
$5,000.
$5,000. Like what husband and wife raising two kids can afford a rent like that?
Well, they cannot. And
They get a price.
thank you for keeping your rents low, including the utilities, because that is a huge.
$300 extra.
I mean, so, you know, and a lot of people look to us on the county council, and I'm sure by now you realize that there's only so much that we can do. And you know, we're going to be working on some real property tax relief measures that's going to really incentivize owners of properties to rent to our local families. Those that are second homeowners, speculators, I have absolutely no sympathy for them. And my plan is to really tax them and hopefully get them to rethink if they want to be a part of this community, if they want to support this community, then they got to help the community. And you help the community by putting families, our local families, in homes. So, you know, we really cannot discuss too much Sunshine Law, but I do want the public to know that we are working on some measures that's going to probably upset some people, but the goal is to create housing opportunity for our local families.
Well, Mel, you bring up a really good point. You know, and I'm not always here to agree with you because sometimes your brilliant mind triggers my business mind, and I'm like, hey, Mel, what about that local family who's done everything right, who has a second and third and fourth home because they've done some good investments? We don't want to we don't want to tax them out of their investment. But those same local families that have done well, it's nice if they could do the favor back and rent it at an affordable and make their money slowly instead of kind of make it one gazillion time in the first year while you rent it at $5,000 to traveling nurses or to people that come from the mainly with the job opportunity either at the beach or at the hospital or
hotels, everywhere. I mean,
and
the employee shortage has attracted a lot of people to come work over here. And these people are coming over here and they're some of these job opportunities pay really well and they can afford the $5,000 a month. But every time we do that, and this really is for all the local people out there that may have a second or third property, think about the mission to keep Kauai. Think about the mission to keep our local families here so they don't have to leave. And I'm not saying to donate your house and not able to make any money, but understand, let's try to take care of our local people. I mean, that's what we're raised.
We're going to change the demographics here really soon. We're going to change the culture and the traditions of these islands and the communities when you start putting these people from the outside of our state into our housing communities. And they weren't raised like us. They didn't raise their kids like us. So all of a sudden now you have a whole other demographic of people. When we grew up, man, I remember the chickens in grow. My neighbor would fight chickens. I mean, my daddy had 10 hunting dogs. And today they tell you, oh, you can't have your dog making noise, your chicken growing, your cat stay on the fence. I mean,
I've been called racist. I've been called a lot of things because
you haven't been called a bigot like I have.
Well, I have. Not on the floor, though.
On the floor,
yeah.
I've been known as.
But I think people got to understand that we talk about this on the floor often about the plantation camps, the plantation mentality. One of the biggest irritating comments I can hear is when people tell me I got to get rid of the plantation mentality because that's how we were raised. That's my culture. How I could live next to one Filipino, Chinese, Japanese, it doesn't matter. We all were raised. We were colorblind. We were all colorblind.
There were no racism.
Yeah, we never had.
No, there wasn't.
I mean, we made fun of
even African American. I had a guy that ran track with me at St. Teresa's School. The dad was a base commander, and he was the fastest kid in our team. We beat Holy Cross and Immaculate Conception, and his little sister, I think, was 6th grade. I was 8th grade, and she had the cutest African American curls, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?"
Yeah.
She's cute. Like today, you go to the mainland, everybody's a racist.
Yeah.
We don't have that stuff here.
Well, but now people have mistaken our love for our plantation culture as racism, and that is where I think the problem lies, because it's not the case. I guess I'll speak for myself. I cherish the culture that I was raised in. I do, and I don't want to see it go away.
I would never trade that.
My kids are learning now that they're on the mainland and they're half Asian. They're understanding what racism is. They never had that over here. So, it's people, I don't want people to think that, because I want to take care of our local families, that I'm racist. I'm not racist. I want to make sure that if our families want to move because they want to move, then God bless them. What I don't want to see is our families having to move because they have to move. And we weren't blessed with lands and all these things. So we really have one house, a very small house, and it's going to be hard to put growing families, in my sons and my daughters' families in our house. So, and for them to live here, they got to work 2 or 3 jobs.
The quality of life they don't
Exactly.
have. They become the little hamster on the wheel. The little hamster that runs on a wheel, and that wheel never stops. It's the wheel of earning revenue to live in a most expensive area. And I believe this, ma'am, that people are not only coming here for the good job opportunities, but people come here because 20 years ago, everybody would buy a vacation second home in another country because the dollar could go further. But with everything that happened since 9/11, I truly believe the most safest place is to be in the United States. And where else do you have a tropical area but the state of Hawaii?
Oh, yes.
So now, every wealthy millionaire
And billionaire.
billionaire want to buy a place on Kauai. And we want, look in a camera and tell you guys, if you don't think Chair Raposo, Council Member DeCosta, and every other council member wanted to put in the language that you cannot buy a home unless you are a local resident of Kauai, X amount of years. They all want to do that, but we cannot. It's unconstitutional, you guys. It's unconstitutional. So when people say, hey, put them up, put a time frame on their residency so they cannot buy, we would love to, but we cannot.
Yeah.
Because we can go to Vegas and buy a house tomorrow.
Correct.
We can go to Alabama, we can go to Georgia and Mississippi and buy a home.
Yeah.
So if we can, then it has to be available for them.
And you know, how do we create those opportunities? It's hard when we don't control the market. We don't. Then the council doesn't control the market. The mayor doesn't control the market. The governor doesn't control the market. When these markets fluctuate like this, and then the opportunity to invest, most of our locals that are living here are, like you said, man, they're paycheck to paycheck. And unfortunately, you said it earlier today in an earlier interview, a lot of them are one paycheck away from being homeless. A lot of them are having to make decisions whether or not they're going to pay electricity or buy food. And it's just hard for me to imagine that in today's world, today's times, that is happening to our local people. And it's frustrating for me, and I think for you too, Billy, as a relatively new council member, because I was one that thought that a council got to do more. The mayor got to do more. And then you get here and you realize, I mean, you know, there's so many limitations to what we can do. What we can do is create legislation that will benefit the local residents. And really the only power we really have is the property tax. So that's kind of where we're at. And, but as Kauai becomes a destination, as Kauai becomes just another block on the rich people's monopoly board, because that's what they're doing. They're playing monopoly. They're buying and selling. They're building homes. Some are trying to build hotels. And at some point, they're going to let it go. They have no cultural or emotional connection to this place. It's a property on a monopoly board. And every time someone buys that parcel on the monopoly board, you take away an opportunity for one of our local kids to purchase or rent or remain here.
Well, you look at all those, I want to say, multi-millionaires, whole billionaires. They're on Maui, you know. I could throw out names. They're on Kauai. And they buy not just an acre or 5 acres, they buy 1,000 acres. You know, why do they need that much land? Why would you need that much land? Are you going to share and house your clientele? I don't think so. You want space. You want nobody bother you. So you go and you buy up all these large chunks of land and it no longer is available for the next generation.
And it's gone for good. It is gone for good. You know, it's not the normal rotational local family buys a starter home, you know, builds equity, like how it used to be, right? And then sell to another local family to purchase a bigger house. Those days are gone.
It feels like it's out of grasp. Actually, it's out of...
Median price, 1.8 million?
I just saw a ringside in Whanapepe Heights on the cliff. 18,000 square feet. 9,000 square feet chair overlooking the cliff with rocks and courtrooms. Sold for 1.3 million, our 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Yeah.
1.3 million. Let's work the math here. Let's do 100,000 down. I don't know who has 100,000 down.
No, but you would need 20% down.
No, 20% for raw land. Now it's 5%. So let's just say, what is 5% of 1.3 million? Should I...
A little over 100 grand.
There you go. So, and the mortgage on that gotta be about 7,000 to 8,000. So you think the local nurse married a school teacher? Local policewoman married a local fireman? Could afford that? Both of them making 100 grand each? No, not even close. So who's buying these houses, Chair?
Yeah.
They're buying it. These are people that made their fortune in the mainland. And now, are they going to come live in our community? Are the kids going to play soccer with our kid? Or are they renting it out?
Yeah.
And the vacation rental business, man. And no disrespect to all the vacation rental people. we love you guys on Kauai as people, but we don't love when you rent your home for $5,000 a week to these very wealthy people that want to stay in it. We want you to rent it home to local families. And I understand they gotta pay the insurance, they gotta pay the property tax, they gotta earn revenue. But at the same time, you're pushing local families to live in Oregon.
Yeah.
I got two boys, one in California, one in Washington. It moves them away.
Yeah. You know, it's really sad, and the legal vacation rentals is really I pretty much just I can't do anything about it. You know, they're legal, they've gone through the proper things, and you're right, but what we're seeing now is a lot of illegal vacation rentals coming back, and that's because these people that have purchased homes as their second home, they're absentee owners, and they're finding out the property taxes are high, so they're through their own way renting these homes out as vacation rentals. It's not hard to do. And we just don't have the manpower and the staff to go out and check everybody's vacation rental every day of the week. So, but that is on my radar screen as to how we're going to address those.
And if we're talking about addressing those, what about all the locals who have tried to build a little unit for that one single mom with a daughter, or that one husband and wife who's struggling? You know, maybe that unit is not legal.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to cite them. Why would we want to put a local family out from a family that built something on their property now? Maybe they didn't build into code, maybe they didn't do all the proper permits, but it's sad when the inventory is so low, and they're gonna be on the brink of being homeless.
Yeah, and I think that's the focus, I think, of this council going forward. I think 2024, you'll see I think you guys will see some bold measures being attempted by this council. And like I said, some people are not going to be happy. But I think we have to utilize our authority as legislators to do what we can to benefit the local families. And with the one purpose, the main purpose, to keep them here and allow them to live here and raise their families here, because that's what they want. Again, for those that want to leave for opportunity, I encourage my kids, go check it out. Go, not thinking that they would stay, but they did. And
they probably can provide himself a better way.
They each have one job alone. And my son has
they can travel and put them.
Yeah, they can enjoy life.
Right.
And they were raised, they grew up seeing mommy and daddy work hard, and daddy had always had more than one job, and mom worked her butt off and had to come home and take care of the house and the kids. They saw that. That's just the way of life. They didn't know anything other than that. So now when they get to the mainland and they find out they can go get one job, and they can buy a house, they can travel, they can go out and eat,
buy a nice SUV.
Yeah.
And still go Disneyland.
Yeah.
But I want to pick your brain. But we sit here and it seems like you're Batman and I'm Robin. Well, I don't know. Maybe actually me Batman and you Robin. I'm not sure. But anyway.
You know who my childhood superhero?
Don't let me lose my train of thought, but go ahead and tell me.
Shazam.
Shazam.
You know Shazam?
I don't know.
The guy used to say Shazam, and he would turn into the superhero.
I have one.
Yeah, that was mine.
You know who was mine?
Who?
Barney Rubble. Because I wanted Betty.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Oh, no. Is it Wilma? Which one? Fred
was with Wilma.
Wilma was the redhead.
Barney.
Betty was the brunette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted Barney.
Okay.
Because I'm small like Barney and I like Betty.
Okay.
But that's what I want to eat here. So it seems like we're always agreeing, but I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit to let the community know that they always say, oh, the council, they're in bed together, or they're two peas in the same pod. Well, Mel and I might be two peas, but we don't always go in the same pod.
No.
So, Chair, when you give tax relief in one area, we got to make up that tax relief in another area. So when we give out tax relief, let's say we're building homes in Ali on Limaola, which is an affordable county housing project.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime we give tax relief. So let's say we just met yesterday. We were discussing, okay, how can we give these Limaola people tax relief with hookup to sewer? Let's say something like that, right there. So we're going to give them a tax rate so they don't have to pay into that sewer fee. But we got to make it up someplace else because so when you give that tax relief on the residential side, we're going to have to make it up some. So is it Chair? Is it the Robin Hood effect? Tax the rich and relief to the poor?
It's the Robin Hood effect if the philosophy or the mentality is to continue to generate more revenue than you need.
Now, on the flip side, Chair, let me tell you, there is a group on Kauai who is very prominent in a community, who is hardworking, who want to see their little baseball fields better, want to see little amenities on Kauai better. And the only way to do better amenities for our people is to have more revenue.
Right.
So we cannot be so stringent on administration to operate on pennies on a dollar. But we don't want them to operate on $100, right? We want them to be kind of in the middle.
Right.
So it's smart government, smart administration doing what we need to do for Kauai and make this even better.
And I'll just say that our job on the county council is to be the checks and balance of this government. And when the administration comes to us with a budget, it is lined with projects that they want to do, that they need to do. A lot of it is deferred maintenance. A lot of it is infrastructure. It's, water, wastewater, and the landfill. But also with that comes a budget that has the improvements to parks and all of that. And I gauge my generosity on past performance. So when we come up to the budget in a couple of months, I'm going to look at the past performance of this administration from this fiscal year. And I'm going to see how many projects were actually done. Because what I do not support, I would definitely support providing tax relief to those that need it. And I have no problem raising taxes on people that, for example, the resort community who have boasted the increase in visitors. The room rates are at all-time highs. Profits are all-time highs. That they should pay their fair share. We have not touched the resort tax rate in a long time. My point is this, though. We should only raise what we need to run this government and to fulfill those projects that you talk about, the parks, that
affect the local family.
The local family.
That affect.
Exactly.
And we're doing.
So I'm going to be critical this year because I haven't seen too much in the way of parks. And I will tell you, this last budget, in all my years on this county council, I have not seen this much available money to do those things.
Oh, Chair, on the same note as you, when I look at politics and I look at administration, I look at revenue base, let's turn the clock back a little bit. Name the one governor here in Hawaii that had revenue, and you were probably the richest. That was our richest time ever. This one governor, his name comes out at me. Who you think was the one governor who managed things the best?
Ariyoshi?
David Ariyoshi.
George Ariyoshi?
George Ariyoshi. When he was our governor, he was a smart businessman. Taxes weren't out of control. He had a tax really low for the residents. He knew where to grab revenue that he needed to grab it. We got to get back to that.
Yeah.
We got to get back to that kind of mindset where our local families are taken care of. We have better parks, we have better amenities, and the rich get taxed. And I don't know how we're gonna do that because when we and Canada came in, all that fluff, all that extra revenue, they called it the reserve revenue.
Yeah.
Go on, spend like this,
So, I was in Leadership Kauai's inaugural class. And
How long ago?
who?
Give me the date.
Probably 20 years ago. 15, 20 years
So
ago.
what are we talking? 2024? 2004?
2002. Actually, I got elected in 2002, my first term. So it was probably in 2003, 2004. It was during my first term. But Governor Ariyoshi was a very strong part of that class. He had come to our classes several times to speak, but he was our graduation speaker. And I'll never forget this. I had an opportunity to sit down with him and his wife and talk. So actually, he gave me his book that the wife wrote. But he told me this. He says, I was just going to give you one piece of advice. He said, don't ever forget why you ran for public office. And don't ever forget who the people you serve. It's exactly how he said it. And it was profound because I was so new. And you know this, Billy, it takes a while to understand this political game. It takes your first term is really just learning.
Whitewash.
Yeah.
No, it is a whitewash.
Yeah, it's learning about all the moving parts.
And if you have good people on the council and good chairs, I got a prop chair Kanashiro. I prop you all the time, Chair supposedly. You both took me under your wing. I didn't get much done in my first term. I had a little bit, a glimpse of glimmer. But the second term, I feel like I'm riding that white horse, you know, and that's why I took Bulasan into my wing and did the rescue bill.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to give him a good head start, right?
It's like anything else, man. You know, you gotta learn. You gotta learn, and a lot of this stuff is learn on your own. There is no book.
Well, why would somebody teach you when you're going to run against them in 2 years and you want their seat?
But you just learn. I mean, it's like anything else, you know. It's
And
like
relationship is
football.
important.
It's all relationship.
It is, Chair.
Politics is all relationship.
It is. Because when you relationship with the community, sometimes they give you a brilliant idea. You relationship with administration, and you can work things to let them see our point, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they want us to see their point. So it is the relationship.
Yeah,
right?
it's 95% relationship, man, and that's why people struggle in politics, because you know there's so many external forces that pull at our elected officials.
You know, Chair, I gotta admit this on camera. In 2004, I think the first time I ran. It was 2 years after you ran, 2002, and I wanted to be. I'm gonna get this out in open. I told my wife, "What does that Portuguese guy get that Anamo when he got elected?" And I said, "I know I can do more for Kauai than he can." I said it to myself, annoyed, and you know, I couldn't do more than you, Mel. And I glad I didn't get elected back then because I was young, I was gung ho, I was arrogant, and I thought alone, like the Lone Ranger, I'm gonna fix Kauai.
Yeah.
He cannot. He can. I lost 4 times, and now finally in 2020 I got elected, and now I get to work with the guy I idolized. I get to work with you.
Oh gosh,
How cool!
Yeah, you're with
Yeah.
the kind.
Well,
But
no, I like your brain, not you look. I'm better looking than you. Yeah,
I know that. I know that. Very few people get elected on the first run. I didn't get elected. My first time I ran was in 1998. I didn't win. But like you, I wasn't ready. I ran because I thought I could make a difference. I ran because I was not happy with what was going on, but I wasn't ready. And a lot of people run. They're not really engaged in the community. The intentions are all great, but they don't have a good enough pulse of what's happening in our community, that when they show up in front of people or they get to forums or debates or whatever you want to call it, the people can see that. And, you know, so this is the message to all of you that are thinking about running for office is get involved with the community first. Understand the community you live in first. Because it's like a baseball player showing up on a football field thinking that he's going to be able to beat a quarterback because he can throw. And you get in there and you realize this is an entirely different ballgame. That this is an entirely different system. That what I learned, I was the best baseball player in the world just because I'm an athlete. You don't know what you don't know. So my suggestion is you got to start learning. You got to start knowing. And the only way you can do that is by getting involved in the community on a regular basis. Not just election year, not just whoever runs. So no, you need to start that years before you decide to.
Let's talk the language of our people right now. You brought a great idea, right? So we get in, we think we're going to make a whole bunch of differences to our laws and legislation. But there's a lot of stuff that you guys don't know that we do behind the scenes. And I'm not saying behind a door. I'm saying actually what we do in a community to make things right. Mm-hmm. So I just saw on social media, since we're on social media, Facebook, whatever, right? Instagram. I just saw a post on, not sure, I think it was someplace near Anini, that there was some beach grass that was manicured and mowed and some private landowner was taking care of it. But some of the local residents could not go on the grass, so the security told them high water mark. So, hey, I made a couple calls. I actually called Public Works, talked to my deputy, talked to my department head, say, hey, did you guys reach out? Yes, we did. I called Parks, talked to the department head. Do you know what's happening? No. Bill, we want to call. So I called the landowner, talked to the manager of that land, got the idea that the security was possibly using the high water mark during the storm, which is not the true high water mark. And our local families could not use the grass. So just, I spoke to them, I said, hey, talk to your security, let them know that there's a common high water mark. So don't be so protective over space that you don't own. It's public space. So let the locals enjoy the beach, because that poor local, that's the only place they enjoy. Then they got to go back to the apartment or go back to the low income area or go back to their house. You get to live and look at that beach all day long. So don't be so quick to pull the trigger on the security and kick them out. So stuff like that, we do that behind the scenes. Nobody knows what we're doing. They think we're going to drop on Wednesdays with our tie and our coat and make, in front of the camera. No, but we do all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, if you want to be an effective legislator, whether you're at the county or state or in Congress, you got to be a part of the community. And you got to be able to receive those concerns. And our system, the way it's set up, the way our state law is set up, with the way we got to, if I want to put something on the agenda today, it's 2 weeks out. We won't be able to put it on for another 2 weeks. So a lot of these things are done between meetings, like you just said. And people don't see that.
And I'm going to give you a prop right now. Agenda, you said you control the agenda. So we got to ask Chair if we can put something on. If Chair doesn't see it fit, he's going to say no. So I don't care how good you think you are as a council member. If your ideas, your constructive information that you want to relay to the community is not good enough for the chair who's elected, it doesn't go on the agenda.
Right. That's how it's set up. But Billy, my policy is open agendas.
I see you.
I don't reject any council member's request for agenda at all. Well, whatever you want goes on. I may ask you to go do a little bit more research. I may ask you go run it past legal, but at the end of the day, I will never, unless it's illegal.
Correct. Or it's nonsense conversation too. You don't want to put nonsense on the floor, right? Our job is to make this a better place.
Yeah.
Our job is not to point fingers and say, hey, you're doing wrong. Our job is to work together to help that person that we think is doing wrong to do right.
Yeah.
Whether it's a private citizen, whether it's a millionaire or billionaire, and Chair, do you know how many parcels of land that you and I, even in our best dream, cannot afford to buy right now? That's for sale.
Yeah.
I heard across the Humane Society is for sale. That property was just purchased maybe a year or two ago.
Monopoly.
2 years ago, and I believe it's selling for, I think, 4 times the amount they bought it for.
Like I said, man, we are living and experiencing a real life monopoly. Chair.
Let's go with this. Let's just talk real for the camera, right? Go west side. What we got out on the west side? The Robinson family. Come a little further east. You got Alexander and Baldwin. Come a little further east. You got Knutson. Come a little further east. You got Grove Farm. And keep moving. See? They would never sell land 50 years ago. Never. Today, everybody's selling their land. A&B is selling. Grove Farm is selling. They got land out there, the large parcels. And it's not $500,000 or $1 million that maybe me, you, and John, and Frank, and Schmigel can hooey up and buy. These are parcels that are going for $60 million,
Yeah.
$100 million, $200 million. So props to the one landowner that haven't sold yet. That's Robinson. They haven't cut up their property and sell. And if they do, who you think gonna buy? You think gonna be you?
Well, it's not going to be me.
It's gonna be another wealthy billionaire from the mainland that has no community ties. So we as a council have to make sure that we want to keep that plantation, not mindset, where we look after each other, where we don't jealous each other, Well, we don't want to take away what our neighbor had, right? We want to, the neighbor making smoked meat, and you call the neighbor because the fire is the smoke. Come on, you guys, that neighbor gonna bring you smoked meat. Or you growling because the chicken making noise. The Filipino guy don't fight this chicken, and when he win, he might, bring you something. Or, come on, man. We're losing on ourselves.
we are.
We're losing. We're losing. But anyway, we talk a lot.
Yeah, man, we talked a lot.
Too
And
much.
not too much. It's never too much, but I think it was interesting. And it always is. It's unscripted, so we never know where it's going to go.
So because we just either season of thanking, I want to say thank you for being a chair. You've been a great leader. I've been honored to work underneath you and with you, and I'm excited to do even bigger things. But I gotta go. I got a personal.
Yeah, I know you get your
You can
meeting
do the
coming.
closing. Everybody nice seeing you. I'll be gone, and he'll close.
All right, Randy, you guys all, thank you very much for joining us again. We'll be doing this quite often, and just kind of sharing what's in our heart. So hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and looking forward to our holiday season coming up. I am going to be going to spend Christmas with my kids and my new grandchild. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and an amazing New Year. Aloha, you guys. Take care. God bless.